Hello everybody and welcome to a Total Gaming Network and CS Station special look at the latest update to come to the Counter-Strike Global Offensive Beta. Valve rolled out a new patch yesterday, the 9th of March, that introduces Delake, a new bomb defusal map set in a lovely shoreside house, complete with a safe in the second floor that those pesky terrorists are just itching to get at. The map features just one bomb point, which is, as mentioned, smack dab in the middle of the main house in the area. Surrounding the house are other structures and models such as climbable rocks, vehicles, a partial house structure, a garage, and other debris. Not to mention the lake itself, which is a really fairly minor overall portion of the map. We'll get to that in a little bit though. New in this latest update is Valve's new shadow engine, which, at least from what I can tell, provides far more dynamic shadows in the engine, something that seems to have been largely missing from some of Valve's titles. They also, allegedly, added in support for FXAA, but in my casual glance through the video options, I was unable to actually find the FXAA option amongst the MSAA and CSAA options. A new game mode was introduced, finally, in this latest update. A taste of the Arsenal mode was added by way of Arsenal Demolition, a hybrid of the old gun game mode and bomb defusal game type. If you kill an enemy during a round, you are rewarded, note the implied air quotes there, with a less powerful weapon during the next round. There are no buy menus in this game mode, and the better you do, the more your skill is put to the test in subsequent rounds. But I mean, if you're good at Counter-Strike, it shouldn't matter what weapon you have, right? You should be able to adapt to what you have at your disposal instead of complaining about a supposed handicap, right? And I'm sure the pro crowd won't agree with me on that one. Now, this Arsenal Demolition game is based off of the fan-made gun game mod for Counter-Strike. Valve has stated that the more traditional gun game mode will be coming later, and it will be called Arsenal Arms Race. That mode, however, is not yet in the present public beta. Oh, for those who aren't really aware of what traditional gun game is like, you start off with a pistol, and for each subsequent kill you get, you instantly earn a better weapon. It's more deathmatch in style, and you keep getting better and better weapons until you reach the final weapon unlock, which is the knife. But that's really a discussion for another video, perhaps one in the future where an arms race is finally actually added. Delake, the new map, has, as mentioned, a new shadow engine. The sun shines through the leaves on trees and casts dynamic shadows on the objects below. The shadows themselves seem to be a lot softer than in previous releases of the beta, and provides for a far more realistic look to the game. Keep in mind that I use the term realistic quite loosely when talking about Counter-Strike. While the new map does look great at first glance, a lot of little nitpicky stuff does crop up, from the sometimes overuse of HDR effects to the overly muted color scheme. I have been reading in the Steam forums that people say their frame rates were cut in half with this new update, due perhaps to the new shadow engine. Who knows? I have not personally experienced any such frame rate drops. Then again, I run with VSync on and triple buffering enabled, and the only time I experienced frame rate drops was when I was running Fraps, which caused some frame rate jankiness that I already edited out of here. I can't help but laugh and shake my head though when I see people complaining that they supposedly went from 300 frames per second down to just 60 frames per second. Because you really needed all those extra frames, right? Alright. Anyway, the map itself plays out nearly the same way every round. With only one bomb plant location, it's typically a mad dash to the house both from the terrorist side and the counter-terrorists. Fortunately, there are a number of ways to get into the house, including a ramp of rocks, 2 doors down in the basement boathouse, a waterway entry downstairs, and a number of doors and windows around the perimeter of the house. Once you're inside the house, there are even more options. Head on up to the 3rd floor for a bird's eye view of the bomb site below, or go out a window and scope out the entirety of the map from the roof. Be warned though, if anybody is outside, you are quite vulnerable and exposed up there on that little roof. It's not a bad map for this game mode, but if it is ever to be used in a non-Arsenal game mode, I would hope Valve would adapt the map design. It is a bit on the small side, having just one bomb location, so I don't really see it working out too well for the typical bomb defusal only mode. I could be wrong, however. It's honestly hard to tell without seeing it in action. The HDR on the map is a bit unruly at times, and I'm not really sure what the recent fascination is with using fog in these Counter-Strike Global Offensive maps, but it's really rather distracting. It makes the entire area seem like you're playing in a heavy haze, and often makes already muted colors even more muted in appearance. If you guys want, I can provide additional gameplay footage in another video, but until next time, this has been Zips with Total Gaming Network and CS Nation. Oh, and Valve is still ramping up how many people they invite into the beta. As of this most recent update, they have added yet another 10,000 players. So keep holding on to hope. You still may make it in if you haven't already.